My aunt posed as a medium to scam me, so I exposed her with a fake ghost. Losing my dad felt like the world had cracked in half, and I was stuck on the wrong side of the chasm. My grief was a physical weight, a constant pressure behind my eyes. My mom, desperate to see me smile again, suggested something unconventional, a spiritual medium. Her friend had gone to one and sworn it brought her peace. I was skeptical, deeply so, but I was also desperate, so I agreed. The medium called herself Serafina. She worked out of a small, dimly lit room filled with incense and crystals. She had this serene, knowing look that immediately put me on edge, but also made me want to believe. During our first session, she held my hands and closed her eyes. Then she started talking. She mentioned my dad's old fishing hat, the one he always wore, the one I kept on his empty chair. She knew he called me his little starling, a nickname no one outside our immediate family knew. I left that first session feeling stunned, like I'd actually connected with him. The relief was intoxicating. I booked another session, and another. Each one cost a few $100s, but it felt worth it. It was a lifeline. Serafina became my confidant. I told her things I hadn't even told my therapist. My fears, my regrets, and with each secret I shared, she'd offer a new message from my dad, a new detail only he could know. It was the perfect emotional trap. My savings account started to dwindle, but I told myself it was for my mental health. A few months into this, I was having lunch with my cousin, Mark. I mentioned Serafina, gushing about how incredible she was. Mark got this strange look on his face. He asked me to describe her. As I did, his eyes narrowed. He pulled out his phone and started scrolling through old photos. "This woman?" he asked, turning the screen towards me. It was a picture from a family reunion about 10 years ago. Standing in the back row, with a different hair color and a forced smile, was Serafina. But her name wasn't Serafina, it was Aunt Carol, my mom's estranged sister. A failed actress who was notoriously bad with money and had a habit of disappearing for years at a time. The world tilted on its axis. Every secret she knew, every intimate detail from my dad, it wasn't from the spirit world. It was from family gossip. Things I'd told my mom, who then told her sister. She was using my grief, weaponizing my love for my dad to line her pockets. The sickness I felt was profound. The betrayal cut deeper than the grief. My first instinct was to storm over there and expose her, but I knew she'd just deny it, call me crazy. No, she didn't deserve a confrontation. She deserved humiliation. I came up with a plan. I called Serafina and told her I wanted to do one big, final seance at my mom's house, a family session, to give everyone closure. I invited my mom, my uncle Carol's brother, and Mark. She eagerly agreed, probably smelling a huge payday. Before she arrived, I gathered my family in the kitchen. I told them everything. My mom's face crumpled. The idea that her own sister could be so cruel was almost too much to bear. I gave them their roles. I told them about a secret my dad had shared with me just before he passed. A complete fabrication. I told them Dad's dying wish was to have his ashes scattered at a place called Whispering Falls, a place I'd found on a map 100 miles away, a place none of us had ever heard of. When Aunt Carol arrived in her full Serafina getup, flowing scarves, heavy eyeliner, the whole 9 yards, the mood was electric. She began her ritual, the humming, the dramatic pauses. Finally, I asked the question. "Serafina, my dad had a final wish, a place he wanted to rest. Can you tell us where?" She closed her eyes, her face a mask of intense concentration. A slow smile spread across her lips. "He's showing me, water, a beautiful waterfall." She leaned forward, her voice a dramatic whisper. "He's saying the name, Whispering Falls." The silence in the room was absolute. It stretched for what felt like an eternity. Then my uncle stood up. He didn't shout. His voice was low, cold, and utterly devastating. "Carol, what are you doing?" Her eyes flew open. The serene mask shattered, replaced by pure, animal panic. She looked from my uncle's furious face to my mom's tear-streaked one, to my cold stare. She started stammering. "The spirits, they can be unclear. Sometimes the messages get crossed," but it was over. The charade had crumbled into dust. My mom finally broke her silence, her voice thick with disgust. "You used your brother. You used his memory to steal from his daughter." She just kept shaking her head. Carol grabbed her bag and practically fled the house without another word. She never spoke to any of us again, and the last I heard, she was working a checkout counter 2 towns over.